So a game I've been kind of obsessed with for the past couple of weeks has been Nintendo's codename Steam. Uh, Steam being an acronym for Strike Team Eliminating the Alien Menace. I don't do game stuff on this channel because I'm not into editing and stuff like that. So I feel it's kind of pointless for me to talk about a game when I can't put little video of me or somebody else playing. But I like this game so much, and I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it, so I figured I'd throw it out there. In case you haven't heard, Codename Steam is like set in an alternate post-Civil War world where everything's run on steam power, and you play as the Steam team, Codename Steam, which is Abraham Lincoln's personal hand-picked team to eliminate extraterrestrial threats. And a bunch of Lovecraftian creatures start showing up, and you have to stop them. Now, when most people say Lovecraftian creatures, they mean just generic eldritch kind of creatures. These are literally Lovecraftian creatures. There's a character from Lovecraft stories is in this game. He has a little dossier on all the creatures. And if you've read a lot of Lovecraft, which I have read a lot of Lovecraft, you'll start recognizing some of the enemies. There's two that specifically stand out. I forget what they're called. They're just called generic names like pouncers or brawlers or they all have generic names like that. If you go into the bestiary, they give more information. But there's two that most stand out. They have these frog-like kind of bipedal anthropomorphic frog fish people that are right out of the Shadow over Innsmouth, and they have dreadnoughts, which are Cthulhu's. They're little Cthulhu's. I mean, they're huge. They're way bigger than your characters, but they're little compared to Cthulhu. And they actually refer to them as spawn of Cthulhu. So fuck yeah. Let's see what we got. And one other thing I should mention is that all the playable characters are from. Most of them are from American. There's 2 or 3 I didn't research on the last one whether it was American or not. But they're all from Americana, and there's there's a couple of other ones from other writers. So it is a steampunk, Lovecraftian, Nintendo, literary, cartoony. Oh, fuck! I messed up my little thingy. Also, the people who designed these characters said they were basing it on Jack Kirby and Mike Mignola and Bruce Timm, 3 of my favorite artists. So it is a steampunk, Lovecraftian, literary, comic book influenced Nintendo game. The gameplay at that point almost doesn't matter. It's so this game might as well have been made for Sully. Luckily, the gameplay is pretty fucking good. I think, at least. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on this, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably a really biased source. As I said before, the gameplay almost doesn't matter to me, because everything else, the style of the game, is so in line with what I like that it's I don't even turn off the video right now. It doesn't matter what I say. But I'll talk about it anyway. It's made by Intelligent Systems, who have done the Fire Emblem games and the Advanced Wars games. I was never big on the Advanced Wars games. I really like Battalion Wars, but was never big on Advanced Wars. I do like the Fire Emblem games though, so I'm not a complete cretin. And I noticed the Fire Emblem games get praised a lot for their story. And from what I've only played Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, so maybe other Fire Emblem fans will tell me that those are the shitty ones. I like them a lot, and I like the story a lot, but I don't think the story was anything amazing or anything groundbreaking. And that's one of the bigger problems with this game is that for as stylish as it is, and as brimming with visual personality the characters are, the story is completely not non-existent, but it's so plot rail. There's almost no plot to this game, and the characters have very little personality, despite the fact that they have a great visual personality, and despite the fact that they're all based on literary characters. The plot is essentially There's two plot lines in every single level in this game. Either A, there's bad things there's bad stuff happening and you have to go stop it, or B, a bad thing has stopped us from going to an area where bad things are happening so we can stop it. Those are the plots of every single level and the entire game. And the characters, for the most part, all have the same personality of just like a generic hero. It's everyone just pretty much has the same, with few exceptions. Everyone has pretty much the same personality. But I mentioned that these characters are based on literary figures, so let's go through them. I bet you didn't think I was just going to rattle off every single character, but that's what I'm going to do. The main character is Henry Fleming from The Red Badge of Courage. I have never read The Red Badge of Courage, and neither has anyone that I've spoken to. So I know it's like considered a classic and like a must-read high school kind of book, but no one I've seen ever read it. He's okay. He's very generic. He's in Codename Steam. He's very just generic. I'm a hero, and this game has, like, for a game with such a shit story and shit characterization, pretty much, this game has a fucking amazing voice cast. Henry Fleming, voiced by Adam Baldwin, Jane from Firefly. Fuck yeah. But again, just very generic. I'm generic hero man. Every character also has a main weapon, which is unique to them, a sub weapon. Before I get into all this, maybe I should backtrack and talk about the gameplay, because that's almost like the least important part for me. The gameplay is, I've never played Valkyria Chronicles, but apparently it's very similar to that, where it is a third-person shooter slash strategy game, where you have this big grid, and you're moving characters all around the grid. You have 4 characters in your squad, and you're moving them all over the grid, and they have steam packs, and moving takes up steam from your steam pack, and shooting takes up steam from your steam pack. So you can move into an area and shoot people, and that takes up your steam. Or you can move into an area and not shoot people, and then that saves your steam. And then on the enemy's turn, if they move into your sights, your characters will automatically shoot them. That's very important. That's pretty much what I based my whole team around. Was using, it's called Overwatch. Was using the Overwatch. And pretty much every level the difficulty curve is very weird for this game. In the beginning, in the first half of the game, every level is essentially get from one end of the room, various kinds of rooms, to the other. That's pretty much all the missions for the first half of the game. The second half starts switching it up a little bit. Like there's protect this area from an enemy that's coming at it, or defuse 10 bombs in 10 turns, or something like that. It was like 5 bombs in 10 turns, and they have more interesting missions for levels later, which was good. Another issue with the beginning of the game is that they kept throwing characters at you, and I never found characters that were worth replacing the first characters they give you. The first characters they give you, the first 2 of the first 3 I had on my team for the entire game. So it was a little bugging me at first when they were throwing all these new characters at me, and maybe, in fact, I know for a fact I was just using them incorrectly, because apparently one of the characters I really hated is like a game breaker if you know how to use them. But I never found a need to switch it up. The second half of the game, they give you a bunch. They keep giving you characters all throughout the entire single player campaign, and there were more interesting ones. Another problem with the beginning of the game is that it's friggin' really hard because your characters are so straightforward, and you don't have a lot of options with what to do. Of course, this is alleviated later when you get more characters and you get your own little personal strategy going. So that's good. So each character has a main weapon that's unique to them, and a sub-weapon which you have a bunch to choose from. And they have a special ability and like a secondary ability, which is like more passive. So I'm going to go through all of them and try not to forget any of them. First, Henry Fleming from the Red Badge of Courage, generic hero man. His main weapon is the Eagle Rifle, which shoots, and I quote, patriotic bullets. In one cutscene, they zoom in on the bullet, and it says "E.T. Go Home" on it, which is awesome. His special attack or special ability, I forget what it's called, but he screams something patriotic. The one I like the most is he goes "Star Spangled Slammer," which is what I call the move. I don't think it's called the Star Spangled Slammer. He also says like "Red, White, and Boom," But anyway, he screams something patriotic, the American flag appears behind him, and it plays the American anthem, and then he throws an exploding bald eagle at somebody. That's robotic, so PETA relax. Um, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Uh, and his secondary, more passive ability is that he can kick people, and it doesn't waste any steam. He can kick people and send them flying, which is good for. I never really used it on enemies. I used it on my allies to kick them out of the harm's way. He's actually the first character you get, and I used him in every map. So he's the most. He's like the jack of all trades. He's good in every situation, but he's not the best in any situation. Second character you get is John Henry, the steel driving man. If you don't know the folklore, he was a guy who was really good at working on the railroad. And then his boss brought like a steam powered steel driver, and he challenged, and he said like, I'm better than that thing, and then he in the original folklore he did beat it in a steel driving contest, but it cost him his life. Like it was such a hard ordeal that he died. In this universe, some doctors saved his life with some impromptu surgery where they incorporated the steam driving machine into his body, so it was like a cyborg now. In a darker game, or a game with a more story, that could have had some psychological depth where he became what he hated. But this game's just goofy and silly, so it's never like brought up in that manner. His main gun is the grenade. Has a grenade launcher, which is really good. It has this big arc, so you can shoot over things and you can do a lot of damage to enemies in a cluster. His special ability is like that. His arm turns into a giant hammer and he just crushes everything in front of him. And his passive ability is that he can break boxes nobody else can break. And he's voiced by fucking the voice cast. I'm gonna go over the voice cast. Michael fucking Dorn, Worf from Star Trek, is playing John Henry in this game. Fuck yeah, again. Next is Tiger Lily from Peter Pan. She is one of the few. J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan, is from Scotland, so she's one of the few characters not from like Americana. She is also a character I used in every single map, and she has a healing. It's like a mortar, like a grenade launcher, but it heals people. So very useful. She can just like shoot it up and drop it on herself, or drop it on other people. Awesome. Her special ability heals everyone around her. Special abilities don't use steam, by the way, so it's really useful to have. She can heal everyone without wasting a turn. But you can only do special abilities once per match. I also should have mentioned that. So she has a special healing ability, and her passive ability is that it's called like Defiance or something, or Die Hard or something. If she has over a quarter of her health and something kills her, she'll like cling on to 1% of her health, which actually did come in handy a lot. I don't recall her voice actor, so not somebody cool. Next up, Cowardly Lion. He has his main gun is the lion launcher, which makes him like pounce, like Goomba stomp bad guys, which is helpful to get up on top of things, but less helpful. It doesn't do that much damage, and it like sends you right into enemy territory. So, and enemies have Overwatch too, so you could send the lion at the wrong area, and he'll just get shot up. So, didn't really like the lion that much. His special ability was a roar move, which did a little bit of damage to everyone around him, but also stunned them, which was helpful. And I don't even remember what his passive ability is, honestly. I didn't use him that much. Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer is the character that I thought was completely useless, but apparently is a game breaker if you know how to use him. His main weapon is a boxing glove that like does a little bit of damage, knocks people away, but it uses like one little bit of steam, so you can use it many, many, many times. His special ability, maybe I'm just an idiot, but it kind of sucks. He like lays mines all around him, and if he walks over those mines, he'll bury them. Like if he doesn't bury them, enemies can see them. At least I only played as him once, so maybe I'm wrong. But if he doesn't, it seemed to me that if he didn't bury them, enemies could see them and avoid them. But if you did bury them, enemies couldn't see them, but neither could you, and your own guys will walk. You'll walk your own guys onto them and blow up, and it just pissed me off. I thought it sucked. But apparently, if you know how to use them, he can become the best character in the game. So, at least from what I've read. I don't remember what his passive ability is. Oh god, I'm running out. I'm having trouble remembering the characters. Who was after that? Oh, Scarecrow was after that. Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. He had like a pumpkin for a head, which was weird because there is a character with a pumpkin for a head in Oz named Jack Pumpkinhead. So I don't know if these developers were confused on that, or they thought that Jack had a better design and but New Scarecrow was a more famous character and said screw it, we'll just combine them into one, or what? But he had a pumpkin for a head, and he also had like a Halloween, like he was very Halloween themed. Like he looked like he came out of A Nightmare Before Christmas. His music was very Halloweeny, and his special attack was called Trick or Treat, which drains bombs and candy, and then if you run into the bombs, it'll blow you up. If you run into the candy, it heals you. So you can heal and hurt people at the same time if you're clever with it. His passive ability is that he can't be stunned. And his main gun is like a pumpkin bomb. It launches little pumpkin bombs that blow up and stun people, but don't hurt them. Didn't really use him either. After that is, I'm going to try to do these in order. I may fuck it up. Is a character called the Fox. She is hinted at to be a relation of Zorro. Zorro is Spanish for fox. She says, like, fighting injustice runs in my family. She is probably the best character in the game. She's the sniper, and it turns out I'm really good at sniping when the enemy can't move. Enemies have little critical hit points that like do double damage if you hit them. So if you use the fox, you can just like pick off people from far away. Oh, and when she's on Overwatch, it takes less steam for her to fire a sniper rifle. So even if you just leave her in a spot, she'll probably take out like at least 2 guys on the bad guy's turn. Her passive ability is Deadeye, which means she does more damage on Overwatch, and her special ability, I forget what it's called, but it essentially turns her rifle into like a super awesome sniper rifle. It doubles her damage on Overwatch, and it doubles the range on Overwatch, and it completely refills her steam tank. But after you use it, you can only attack on Overwatch for the next turn. So she was on my team after I got her because she was just demolishing everyone. Next, I've been doing the voices. Has anyone had Tom Sawyer? I forgot to mention his voice actor. Jeremy Shada, I think. Finn from Adventure Time is also a voice actor in this game. Okay, awesome. Another great voice actor from a great nerdy thing. Next up, my favorite character in the game is Randolph Carter. He's the character, a recurring Lovecraftian character. His main gun is the unspeakable lure, and he shoots out like a piece of unidentified meat, which all the aliens like will look towards. A lot of their weak points are on their backs, so the fact that you can make them look in any direction is very helpful. And they'll walk towards it, which can drag them into the sights of your other character. His main power is Forbidden Shield or Eldritch Shield, which gives everyone a shield that does half damage for a turn, which is fucking awesome. And his passive ability is like Forbidden Knowledge or like Arcane Lore or something. I forget what it's called. I love all this Lovecraftian stuff. And what that does is increase your critical hits every character's critical hits are increased. So if you have Randolph Carter and the Fox on one team, she'll demolish everyone because she can pick off critical hits, and he increases her critical hits, and he can drag her into he can drag enemies into the line of sight of her with his lure. So that was my main team: Henry, Tiger Lily, the Fox, and Randolph Carter. Also, Randolph Carter, he's just like in the books. I don't want to get. It's been a while since I've read the books, the stories, but in this, he's like a very pissy scientist. And you know who he's voiced by? Think pissy scientist. He's voiced by James Urbaniak, who voiced Doc Venture in the Venture Brothers. Fuck yeah! It's like everything I like is represented in this game. And then there's characters I don't care. Oh, I forgot to mention Queequeg. He's before this, but Queequeg from Moby Dick. His main gun shoots robotic penguins that will just walk in a straight line and blow up anything they touch. Fucking awesome. He was actually my 4th dude before I got my solid team. And I don't really remember what his... I think he... Oh, I remember Lions gives you a boost to all offense. I think Queequeg gives you a boost to all defense, I think. Something like that. And his special ability just throws a big harpoon. The funny thing, Queequeg... He talks in the same manner that he spoke. He speaks in the same manner that he spoke in the actual book. So he speaks in kind of like broken English. And English is not the guy's first language. I don't think they're like making light of that at all. But I've seen when I was watching it, I was like, I feel like people are going to be complaining about this. And I looked at the Kotaku review, and Queequeg and Tiger Lily, they were dropping P bombs when they were talking about those characters. And they were problematic. Those characters are problematic. Queequeg's fucking awesome. Read Moby Dick and tell me that Queequeg is problematic, or tell me that he's a fucking badass. Tiger Lily, in this game, she's fucking awesome. I've never read Peter Pan, so kind of racist in a Disney movie. I'm not gonna lie, but what are you gonna do? Moving on. After Randolph, there's Califia. I've never heard of this character before or since. She is, I think it's a Spanish folklore or a Spanish fairy tale, where she's the queen of California and rides griffins. No griffins. Her special attack should have been like a griffin, but whatever. She has a rocket launcher which has amazing fucking range and does really good damage. She was really good too. If she was if it wasn't for Randolph's ability to double crits, she probably would have been on my team instead of the Fox, because she's really good, but the Fox can get crits. So the Fox is also the character. I'm not sure. She's based on Zorro, so I'm not sure if Zorro. I doubt it, but I'm not sure if Zorro's like an American character or not. Her special ability is just It's like a big. It's called like Charging Rhino or something, and she hurts everyone around her. It's pretty much the same as Lions. I don't remember what her passive ability is. We're winding down now. We got this one, Tin Man. For some reason, the Tin Man they decided to make into like a Japanese samurai warrior. I thought it was dumb. I totally understand Nintendo's a Japanese company. Intelligent Systems is a Japanese company, so I don't know. I can understand why they would want like a Japanese character. I don't know why they just didn't go with a traditional Japanese like folklore character, and why they had to make the Tin Man Japanese. It just struck me as weird. It's not like I'm like offended by it or anything, but I just thought like I don't know, just seemed pointless and weird to me. Also, they made him like gold, so he doesn't even look like he's made of tin. And he has this like, as bad as Queequeg's accent was, I think Tin Man's was worse. Tin Man had like, hold on, I'm going to be shooting at the enemy now. Like, that was pretty bad. I apologize to anyone I offended with that, but it wasn't me. It was Nintendo. Anyway, his gun if you shoot someone with his gun, it refills their steam. So I bet if you knew how to use him, he'd be pretty good. But I didn't use him after the one map where you're forced to use him. And his passive ability means he can't be stunned, and his special ability just refills everyone's steam in the area. Weird. If you're gonna make him a samurai, I feel like go full samurai and give him like a sweet sword or something. I don't know. They just made him. I guess it still is in character for the Tin Man to be a supportful, helpful character, but still, it just weirded me out. And I just would have rather them have just a traditional Japanese character. Am I missing anyone? There's one more I can think of. I think that's it. I might be missing one. If I do, write to your congressman. But Dorothy is the last one. Dorothy Gale from Wizard of Oz. She has like a laser gun, which is pretty cool, but she comes so late in the game that I already have my character set. I don't feel like switching up my team that much. I don't remember her passive ability, and her special ability like runs through like just has her using her silver. They're silver slippers, not ruby, because it's based on the book. Just runs through a group of people and hurts them all. Kind of boring for the last character, I'd say. Which brings like a weird a weird nitpick I have is I think there's too many Oz characters. I like Wizard of Oz, but why are there 4 Wizard of Oz characters and there's one of every other franchise? In fact, they actually go to Oz for a bit. Spoiler alert. They actually go to Oz for a bit, not for like the last area, but they go to Oz and they save Queen Ozma. And I don't know, because I feel like most of this game is set like in England and Boston and New York or Washington. So they have this whole like World War II feel to it, like Americana World War II propaganda kind of feel going for it. And then just go to Oz for a couple levels. And I think they should just do all or nothing. They should either have it all Americana World War II kind of stuff, or have it like them go to like other characters areas, like they go to Neverland, or they can go to I don't know, I think those are the only magical areas. But maybe do a level. They do a level in Randolph's library, but it doesn't feel particularly Lovecraftian. So I don't know. But those are all the characters. It's all really awesome, nerdy stuff that I eat that I fucking eat with a spoon. The only issue I have with the game is there's your turn and the alien's turn, and you cannot speed up or skip the alien's turn in any way. So you just have to sit there and like wait for like 20 to like 50 seconds for the aliens to like get done with their turn. An interesting thing with this game is a strategy game, but you cannot see anything that your characters can't see. It's very fascinating, and it was a very interesting way to do a strategy game. Like where your characters were was as important with how strong they were and how healthy they were. It was important to get a character to the high ground so you can actually like see what's going on. Very interesting. I thought it worked really well. I think it was a really fun game. It was a really fun game to play. As much as I'm harping on the style and stuff because that's the stuff I really liked. But the game itself, if the game sucked, maybe I would have, but I probably wouldn't have played it if the game sucked that bad. I would have bought it and felt bad and then not told anyone and just told everyone it was good. But actually, it was really good. That's pretty much all I have to say about the game. It doesn't have I just like to harp on all the nerdy, steampunky literature stuff. Abraham Lincoln is great. He's voiced by I've tried to do voice acting stuff. I talked about the ones I really cared about. Abraham Lincoln is voiced by Will Wheaton. Wesley from fucking Star Trek Next Generation. Wesley, the worst fucking character ever. But he was good in this. He actually was a really good Lincoln. I actually didn't recognize him at first. All the other actors I recognized instantly, but he's probably, I guess I would have to give him the Best Actor award because he's the only one I didn't immediately recognize. Or maybe just I don't care about Will Wheaton enough to recognize his voice. But I think this game, I would love to see this become like an actual Nintendo franchise in the same vein as like Fire Emblem, where every couple of years they come out with a new one. That'd be fucking awesome. I don't have faith that it will be because I think this game is so weird and quirky. If it's something that I really love, I doubt it's going to be something that a lot of people really love. There will be some people, but it won't have the huge appeal. I know a lot of people are kind of down on this game. For weird reasons, I think. Like, I remember when this game was announced, they're like, we're announcing a big new 3DS game, and for some reason, everyone just like was like, oh, it's Metroid, it's gonna be Metroid. And then when they announced this game, it was like, oh, fuck this game, it's not Metroid. Fuck you. Don't blame this game because you thought it was Metroid. Also, a lot of people are like not into the fact that it's like very American style. They're like, it's gotta be anime style. I can tell the men apart from the women. Fuck this. I like Fire Emblem as much as the next guy, so. But I think this art style is just as good. But yeah, if they do a sequel, it would be great. It would be like Smash Brothers for me, where I get to like wonder who are they going to put in this game? Who else could they put in Codenames Team 2? Let's speculate because that's fun. Daniel Boone could be a character. He would be awesome. I'm really surprised for a game that's all about like Americana. There's no cowboy. Why is there no cowboy? They could put Wyatt Earp or Wild Bill. Or Calamity Jane, I feel like would be perfect for this. My pick would be Doc Holliday. It'd be fucking awesome to have Doc Holliday in this and have him like be the medic. That would be hilarious. That's more like Team Fortress caliber of humor than this game. Who else could be in this? This game's set like in the 1800s, so I'm trying to keep it around the 1800s. But they can fudge it. I mean, there's Oz characters in this for Christ's sake, so you can kind of fudge it. I'm not going to pronounce his name. Edgar Allan Poe's French detective character would be cool. I'd rather have him than Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes overused, and even though the character is French, I think it's I'm not even trying to say this. I did a whole class about this character, but I took a whole class about this character, but I can't remember his name. Even though he's a French character, he's written by an American author, so he still fits in the Americana thing. Edgar Allan Poe's French detective. Look, I think it starts with a P. Look him up. Who else would be cool? Johnny Appleseed off the top of my head. Man. What about Gregor Samsa from the Metamorphosis? His ability is like he's like a giant bug monster and he can crawl up walls and stuff. That'd be cool. there's this guy called, I think his name is like Mike Fink or something. He's like a legendary uh, riverman and like drunken brawler. Put him in the game. Fuck yeah, I'd totally be down with him. Michael Fink or something like that. I forget. It's been a while. Oh shit. You know what I just thought? The bad guys of the next game should be the kids from Lord of the Flies, all grown up, or not even grown up even, but all grown up. They should be the villains of the next game. Holy shit, that'd be awesome. But I don't think they're definitely not around the 1800s, so couldn't do that unless there's like time travel involved. This is the type of series that could totally have time travel. I've heard a lot of people say Atticus Finch or Scout Finch should be in it, and I'd be fucking so down with that. I like Scout, but Atticus Finch is like known to be like a crack shot and the most compassionate character in fiction. Really funny to have him be in a game where he's like a sniper or something. But I don't think those characters are in public domain. I doubt they could have him in the game. But why did I screw that in when I'm just gonna keep fucking drinking? I think this is a great new franchise. I love it. In the next Smash Brothers, I think Henry should totally be in the next Smash Brothers. He would have a unique moveset with his sort of unique. Rob kind of already has the his up B move is run on like fuel, but Henry could have a whole moveset based on decisive. You have really strong attacks, but you also have a limited amount to how you can do them, and you have to recharge them and stuff. They could do the steam thing. And plus, the music in this game is really good, and I would love to have a level, a Codename Steam level with all the music. Especially the main theme, which is called Codename Theme. And I'm going to end it with Codename Theme. I'm going to try to see if I can get it to play. If it doesn't play, then just... No! Okay, there we go. If it doesn't play, if you can't really hear it, then just turn off the video now. But I'm gonna let the theme play me out here.
Citizens, look around. Can you hear that fearsome sound? There's a menace that's encroaching. Something aliens approaching. Join the team that goes by codename S.T.E.A.M. Pick up your pack and march to fight back the monster menace. What a team! They call them codename S.T.E.A.M. United they stand with every woman, child, and man. Yes, the American dream won't run out of steam. Not with you and our team. No.
That's the fucking menu for this game. How awesome is that? Alright, I'll see you guys next time. The American dream will not run out of steam, not with you on our team.